Hey everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to part 23 of my Fate Stay Night Let's Play. In the last episode, after the fight between Saber and Shiro, he goes back to go get her, and of course they encounter Archer Gilgamesh, who's come to take Saber as his prize, as his treasure, and a pretty epic fight was underway. Things were not looking good for Saber and Shiro. Both of them were down for the count. It looked like they were about to be killed, but of course, as they always do, they managed to pull something out at the last minute and be able to not defeat Gilgamesh, but injure him to the point where he actually left. And it turns out that Shiro is Saber's sheath, the one that she has been looking for. Was Shiro, so he protects her, she protects him, so everything seems to be good. It ended with a nice embrace, and they seem to be kind of back on good terms again. So after that encounter, I'm sure Gilgamesh is raring to fight them again after they made a fool of him. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens next. It's only a matter of time before he goes after them again, but I imagine we're gonna have a little bit of a cool down now and just going over, because once again they have to recover because they both got pretty badly injured. So yeah, we're gonna get back into it, see what happens next. I opened my eyes. I don't know when I got back, but I'm in my room lying on my futon.
ああ、気がついたのですね、シロ。
セイバー、俺はどうして？
あれから今まで眠っていたのです。体の方はほぼ完治していますから、心配には及びま
It's
せん。
funny, it is almost like a video game. It's just like they could be basically on the verge of death, and it's just like you go home, have a good sleep, and you wake up, you're like, I'm all better. Fully healed.
それはいいけど。
What about Saber? If my wound is healed, I'm fine, but Saber's different. Even though she can heal her wounds, her magical energy isn't infinite. It wouldn't be a problem if she had just fought, but she used Excalibur.
セイバー、ずっと俺の手当てを。
手当てといっても汗を拭く程度です。私はリンのように人の傷を見ることはできませんから。
バカ、そんなことしなくていいんだ。今は俺よりセイバーの方が辛いだろう。
そのようなことはありません。シロに比べれば私は軽傷です。しかし今のは聞き捨てなりませんね。いくら傷が塞がったと言っても、シロは死んでもおかしくない傷だったのです。
Saying so, Saber reaches for the wash bowl beside her. There's a cold towel in there. After squeezing the water out of it, she wipes my sweating body. I'm really embarrassed.
シロ、傷が痛むのですか？また熱が出てきたようですが。
熱なんか出てない。いや、そうじゃなくて。いいからセイバーも休んでくれ。今は元気かもしれないけど、エクスカリバーを使ったんだ。セイバーの方こそ休んでなくちゃダメじゃないか。そんなんじゃまた倒れちまうだろう。
まあ、それはそうなのですが。今は私の方が元気ですから、マスターの傷が癒えるまで私が守るのは当然でしょう。
What's with that? I can't object if she says so with that kind of an expression. And you'll rest once I recover, Saber?
もちろん、私とて睡眠を取らねばならぬ身ですから。
Saber nods, squeezes the cloth, and puts it on the side of the wash bowl. So I let Saber take care of me and suppress my embarrassment.
それでは、私も先に休ませていただきます。オンミ、くれぐれもお大事に。シロ。
ああ。
おやすみなさい。言いそびれましたが、礼を言います、シロ。あなたが助かって本当によかった。
Saber smiling in the moonlight. Did it look ephemeral because of the weak moonlight? The sliding door shut before I can find out. I don't know if I'm happy or lonely now that Saber's gone. I did want her to stay by my side, but that would be a burden on Saber. If we stay like that, it will just be like that night. Shake off the image in my head. Too many things happened today. It was only a day, but it felt like a week. The date with Saber was more troublesome than fun. We ended up having an argument, and I left Saber alone. And... No, I have to rest for now. I can think later. There's not only Gilgamesh, but Lancer as well, and his unknown master. We can't win unless we start over in our best conditions. It happened a few hours ago. She said something about me being her sheath. I was badly injured and about to fall asleep, so I couldn't ask her why. I can't fall asleep. Saber's dream, her resolute face in front of death and her face when she nursed me overlap each other. Good night. The frailness of her smile won't get out of my head. A smile that never showed up on the girl in my dream. She says that it makes her happier when I smile. It's vexing. Why is it vexing instead of saddening? I don't know why I'm annoyed to the point of anger. I smack the futon. I'm about to rage around because of this unknown irritation.
シロ、体の具合が悪いのですか?
I hear her worried voice from the other side of the sliding screen. I was out of breath, so it must have sounded like I tossed around because of pain.
いや、大丈夫。それよりも、まだセイバーは起きてるのか?
はい。ですが、本当にシロの方はよろしいのですか? まだ苦しいのでしたら、そちらに行きますが。
No, it's better if I go over there. No, that's bad. Something I've kept in myself would overflow if I see Saber right now.
セイバー、少しだけ話いいか?
はい。このままでよろしければ。
We start talking through the sliding screen. Maybe it's because I can't see her, but I recall the smile I last saw on her. Saber was smiling happily. My frustration increases instead of calming down. I don't know why my body's heating up, but I need to talk to Saber. I have to say that it's wrong. I don't know what's really right, but I have to tell her I'm not wrong about this. My tongue and throat tremble. I can't turn back once I say this. I mean, he's already fucked up once today with, like, talking to Saber about all this stuff. He's gonna do it again, but I have a feeling it's probably gonna go better this time. I fully acknowledge it, and...
もういい。いいから。お前は自分のために笑わないと。
I'm pushed by an unknown impulse and say this.
シロ、そんな、どうして?
She doesn't even need to ask. I'll keep repeating myself until you realize it.
セイバー、もう十分なんじゃないのか? お前は頑張ったんだろう。一人で戦い抜いたんだろう。なら、セイバーが幸せにならないなんて嘘だ。お前は立派に誓いを果たした。なら、このままアルトリアに戻ってもいいはずだ。
何を言うかと思えば、まだそんなことを言うのですか、あなたは。
ああ、ずっと言い続ける。そんなの惚れちまったんだから仕方ないだろう。
Damn, alright, it's all out in the open now.
いや、お前はアルトリアに。
I suppress my sudden fury. It's about to burst out. Saber only needs to say one thing before that.
シロ、私を困らせないでほしい。そのようなことを言われても、私は。
Her answer doesn't change. My heart aches at her determination.
シロは私の過去を知って、私の中に何度も入ってきた。私の答えなどあなたは知っているはずなのに、どうしてそこまで私に構うのです。私がどれほどの罪を重ねてきたのか、あなたは見てきたはずなのに。
Yeah, I did. She sacrificed many people in the name of the king and killed many enemies. I don't intend to ignore that or pretend it didn't happen. But still, even knowing that, I want the girl named Arturia to become happy.
それがどうした? この感情が何かは知らない。俺はただセイバーをこのままにしておけないだけだ。セイバーは笑ってくれ。俺はもっとずっとセイバーと一緒にいたい。
A childlike unilateral confession. Within the silence, I wait for her answer. What is Saber doing on the other side of the sliding screen? Are my words reaching her?
私の答えは変わりません。 王の誓いは破れない。ふさわしくなかったとはいえ、私は王として国を任せられた。その責務を果たせなかったというのに、そんな自由は許されない。
I can't hold myself back any longer because her voice sounds so sad. I don't want to hear the lonely oath to be the king instead of her words at Zarturia. I already know that. I didn't become this vexed to hear those screams. I kick my futon. In front of me is the sliding screen separating our rooms.
シロ、
The sound of the sliding screen feels distant. My mind blanks out. Why was I so angry? Why was I so sad? Her eyes shake as if she's about to cry, her gorgeous neck and slender shoulders. Her golden hair reflects the moonlight just like when we first met. I'm embracing her when I notice. I embrace her so hard I could break her, but she doesn't resist. It's different from that night. I didn't feel like this back then. What a ridiculous story. I wanted to become a superhero, but I never fell in love with anyone, nor was I ever unwilling to let go of anyone.
Saber.
It feels like she would disappear if I don't keep holding her. I don't know how long I've held her, but I finally figure out she won't disappear and loosen up.
シロ、突然に何を。これは一体どういうことですか。こんなことをされても、私は。
She moves slightly in my arms. Her lips tremble and try to say something, but I close them with a soft touch, her body slightly trembling. I'm staring at Saber, but I'm not seeing anything. In its place, my lips feel Saber's kindness. Our lips part. Saber's hand on my chest pushes us apart a bit.
シロ、今の口づけは。
Does
she want to say it's a mistake? She looks up at me with a face about to cry.
間違いなんかじゃない。何度だって言うぞ。セイバーが好きで、このまま話すことなんてできない。それが嫌なら言ってくれ。俺とはマスターとサーバントの関係に過ぎないと断言して否定してくれていい。
卑怯な。そのようなことを口にしろというのですか。
ああ、セイバーがはっきり言わない限りもう我慢しないからな。セイバーが拒まないんなら俺はやりたいようにやるだけだ。
Even if it would make her temporarily forget her determination to be the king. Man, what a difference between her last master and this one. Couldn't be more opposite. A long silence. I keep holding her and feel her softness. She's still tense, not wanting to be embraced. All we hear are her breaths and the beatings of our hearts. How many times did our hearts beat? Saber slightly puts more power into the hand on my chest.
あなたの気持ちには応えられない。あなたがその正しさを変えられないように、私にも変えられないものがある。できるのは、せめて許されるとしたら。
Her pause aches my heart. She bites her lip, trembles, and says this as if to make a confession that this night is unforgivable. But still, her unresisting body and wavering eyes tell me that only this one night. She wants to stay like this until the night ends.
セイバー、俺は
I raise my hand to embrace her again, but
宝具を使いましたから。シロから力をもらわないと、私は戦えません。
her quiet voice stops me. I can't say anything. That reason is her best absolution and her biggest modest wish.
ああ、そうだったな。けど、ちゃんと動いてるのか、あれ。
はい。今でもシロからの供給は続いています。
For those of you who are on my Patreon and would like to join my Patreon, the way that she gets her magical energy back is a little bit more lewd if you want to check it out. Hint, hint. Not YouTube safe. It's going to be a little bit more innocent here.
ですから、回復するためには、
Be close to each other like this. That's the limit. This is the distance between us, a girl bound by her oath, and myself who cannot destroy her oath. Saber moves within my arms. At the same time, the feverish heat in my body returned. My arms panic at her warmth. I'm painfully aware of her softness and slenderness. I'm ashamed for panicking. Saber's cheeks are red as well, and she looks embarrassed.
ですのでシロ、今晩は共にあなたと眠らせてください。ケンとサヤは共にあればその力を取り戻しやすい。それにあの儀式と同じようにより心身を近づければ。
I nod back. Happiness overwhelms my embarrassment. I'm going to be with Saber until morning. We can't touch each other anymore, but we can still be close using our
よ
hearts.
かった。では、シロ
Well, like I said, in the in the exclusive Patreon version, they definitely they touch each other more than with their hearts. They definitely can get close to each other. That's all I'm gonna say.
今夜は私が支度をしますので、先に部屋に戻っていただけませんか。
Saber stands. I'm reluctant to let her go, but I can't be like this forever. I head to the sliding screen. I turn back to look at Saber as I close the screen. With her hands at her collar, Saber shyly returns my gaze. It feels like I'm doing something impure, so I quickly close it. For some reason, I sit Japanese style on the futon as I wait. I'm going to be sleeping together with Saber. Just the thought of it causes me to dance inside my head. This is to help Saber, and also to grant her small wish. Saber may be able to smile someday if we pile up such small wishes. But the battle's nearing its end. Will we have enough time?
失礼します。シロ。
The screen opens. I shake the depressing thought from my mind and welcome Saber. I turn around and see... I quietly swallow my breath. Her white figure shows up in the darkness. With that, my agitation disappears. It's probably because she's too beautiful. My agitated mind comes to its senses and clears up.
おかしいでしょうか。この格好は。
いや、そんなことない。ただ眩しくて困ったんだ、きっと。
I murmur strange things about, such as how troubling it is for a girl to be too beautiful. Saber wouldn't understand what I mean, but my mind won't move unless I say this.
そちらに行ってもよろしいですか。シロ。
ああ。
I notice for the first time how her small toes look beautiful. As Saber makes her way over, I draw back and spread the futon. I realize I need another pillow, but it's too late now. Saber and I are sitting by the futon, side by side. There's only one room and one futon, but Saber's with me. I have no dirty thoughts, but my face is burning, and I can't even sneak a glance at Saber.
お先にどうぞ。シロ。
いや、セイバーこそ先に。
No, we'll make no progress like this. I slip under the futon and make a space for Saber. I try to give the pillow to her, but she quietly pushes it back towards me.
これはシロに。私はその腕を枕にさせてください。
She murmurs such a thing. Saber is in my arms and is surprisingly calm. I'm not hugging her, but rather she's settled in there. Sword and sheath. I recall Saber's words. Saber is about to fall asleep, using my arm as her pillow. She looks like a beautiful sword in its sheath. See, that sounds all romantic until about 3 minutes in when his arm goes numb and he's like, God damn it, I can't move it. Her warmth and faint smell calm me down instead of exciting me. It seemed unthinkable I was ever worried about falling asleep with Saber. Saber holds out her hand. I take her hand under the futon and clasp it. We quietly fall asleep, but before that,
セイバ
I call out to the girl laying beside me. I want to ask her in the end, to hear her reply to my question.
感じますかシロ。これなら朝までには魔力の補充ができる。これで明日からあなたのサーバントとして戦えます。
ー。セイバ
今はそれだけです。シロ、私の役割はあなたの身を守りきり、聖杯を手にすることだけです。戦いを終わらせるまで、それ以外のことなど考えられない。
There you go. She preemptively shut him down. Whatever he was about to say, she's like, no.
ー。それは
そうでしょう、シロ。この戦いを終わらせるために戦うと決めたのだから。
Now, does she mean that, like, that's going to be his grand wish, is not just to end this war, but all wars? Can he do that? Is that going to be, like, some, you know, weird loophole where his wish is to end the Holy Grail War entirely? That's something I cannot argue against. Or does she just mean, like, he wants to end this particular war? I want to do something about our problem. Or he just wants to end the war so that he can, like, hopefully be with Saber. If I want to do something about our problem, I have to end this war beforehand. I love the idea, like, he literally is just like, alright, let's hurry up, let's end this war, I want to be with Saber, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. That's all he cares about. First of all, I can't protect Saber unless we defeat that man who's after her. But, do we have a way to defeat that King of Heroes? We grow quiet and stare at the darkness. How long were we like that? My tired body wants to take a rest, and my eyes start to close. But our clasped hands are warm.
Saber.
はい。考えるのは明日にしましょう。シロ、明日になれば良い案が浮かぶかもしれませんし。それに。
I would like to sleep like this for now. She says so while gently clasping my hand.
そうだな。俺もそうしたかった。
Just a reminder, this guy was sliced in half, like, what, just a couple of hours ago? I think sleep would probably be good.
おやすみなさい。
I just love how, like,
目を覚ましたら
in this very sweet moment,
またいつもの私たちに戻り
like,
ましょう。
not that long ago, maybe just a couple of hours ago, he was almost dead. He should have been dead. We're gonna put that behind us. I close my eyes with her close to me. My last vision of Saber sees her smiling warmly. I don't care if that was just for this night. Right now, her hand is warm. That is more than enough for me right now as I fall into a comfortable sleep. We approach the end of this battle, without knowing if we would be able to keep our hands connected, even after everything is over. When I wake up, the sun is already way up. The sunlight coming in from outside is faint, and the room is dim. I feel like it's still last night and shake my head violently.
外は曇りか。道理で目が覚めないはずだ。
It seems my sleep-deprived body caught up on sleep, taking advantage of the darkness of the room. It seems it's already past 1 o'clock. Oversleeping this much can't be just called sleeping in.
そういえば、起きてるか？
There's no answer. Saber is sleeping next to me, slightly curled. I wake up when I'm not sleepy anymore, but Saber has to recover her magical energy. Considering how long she slept before, she probably won't wake up until dinner. I leave the room, trying not to wake Saber up. There's no need to wake her right now. The contest begins at night. I don't think Lancer or Gilgamesh will appear during the day. So I have to come up with a plan. Putting Lancer aside, Gilgamesh will certainly come again tonight. I don't even need to think about it, considering his personality and the murderous intent he showed last night. But what should I do? He has an infinite supply of noble phantasms, and one of them even exceeds Saber's Excalibur. Berserker was a difficult enemy to defeat, but we could still fight him even though we were inferior. Plus, we did have Rin to help us out. So, we could look for a chance for a comeback even when he was pushing us. But he's different. It won't even be a fight right now. If he uses that noble phantasm called Aya, we will all die.
手を考えないと。日没まで時間がない。
There's no solution if I think on my own. If Saber, Tosok, and I can't think of a plan, then...
教会。監督役であるあいつなら、何か。
He might know a way to overcome the situation. King of Heroes, Gilgamesh. Kotomine Kyrie said he would find someone measure against that survivor of the last Holy Grail War. We can't find a countermeasure, but that priest might have already come up with a plan. I go up the hill. The sky's filled with gray clouds. That is, if Kyrie is on our side. Who knows? Maybe he is secretly working with Gilgamesh. Probably not. Because it's like Gilgamesh and Kyrie, they weren't exactly besties or anything, but, you know, they understood each other quite well. And they seem to have the same kind of personality, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like, Kyrie did sound actually genuinely surprised when, like, Shiro mentioned about that there was another servant around. But who knows? I can't trust them, that's all I know. The church is the only thing at the top of the hill. There is no one in sight, not even the sound of birds. Is it because of the dark sky? It looks more ominous than holy. Well, they always say if birds flee an area, that's not good, right? Metaphorically, it feels like a gallows. Going up the long hill through the large courtyard, prosecuted before God and falling to hell.
なんだ。例え話になってないな、それ。
From the beginning, a church is a place where people die. A hospital is a place where they try to prolong life, but at the same time, it is also a place where people face death. A church is the same. In those terms, no place has more deaths than here. This all feels very foreboding, doesn't it? The wind is cold. Fastening my collar, I go up the stairs to the church.
Kotomine, 話があってきた。
I enter the chapel. There's no one in here either.
Kotomine?
Is he in the back again? Walking between the chairs, I walk to the altar. Pat, 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 pat. A dry sound echoes through the chapel. It must be designed for echoes, as one person's footsteps fills the room.
Kotomine, いないのか?
I call out in a soft voice. It's certainly strange. I should be calling out in a loud voice if I'm calling for someone. I know he's somewhere in the back, so I should be calling out in a loud voice. But I advance, keeping my voice quiet, my footsteps quiet, and suppressing my presence. It's like he knows deep down he's not to be trusted, and he should be like, just be careful around him. Is it because the chapel is so magnificent? I feel like as soon as I reveal my presence, something will surround me and cut my head off for disgracing God or something. I pass through the chapel and get out into the courtyard.
確か琴峰の部屋は。
I advance with quiet footsteps. The church is complicated, and I don't know where Kotomine's room is. My memory is vague, so I know I won't be able to get there. Ooh. Something. I control my breathing. My throat is dry and it's hard to breathe. Why? Even though the hallway is cool, sweat forms on my brow. I stop calling out and examine the surroundings with all my senses. Do I have such, I'm guessing like a bad feeling? I don't know why I'm walking silently, why my heart is beating so fast, why an ominous feeling in this place. I mean, his instincts have been right pretty much 100% of the time. Same words repeat in my head. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Kotomine isn't here, so you don't have anything to do here. Go home since you're by yourself. Your decision is a mistake. Your actions are a mistake. Your chill is a mistake. Go back, go back. Is Gilgamesh here, maybe? Go back. This isn't bad. There's nothing bad here. There's nothing here, so go home. Uh-oh. And once again, he decided to go without Saber. He keeps doing this, and it's never good. I feel sick. I feel nauseous. At times like this, my chill's correct. My sense for danger is good enough for an amateur magus. That is why I can't stop. Suppressing my pounding heart, I look for Kotomine's room. And in that way, I run into the darkness. I see stairs in the darkness. In a small indent between the walls one would normally miss because of the shadows is a narrow staircase. I shouldn't go down there. I'd bet money on it. Kotomine won't be down there. No one would be down there. There can't be blank down there. There can't be CO down there? Corpses? There can't be corpses, I'm guessing, down there. There can't be corpses down there. I shouldn't go in there. My neck stiffens. Right? Is curious, he like, because they say that you can get like magical energy from people. So is he killing people? Because Shiro kept talking about how like he would walk around in areas and it would feel like there was like no life. So like, is he killing random people? Is he doing it for Gilgamesh maybe? My neck stiffens. Oh shit. Okay, we're gonna save. Alright, let's go down the stairs. I enter the darkness. It's a room made of stone. The lights aren't on, but the room itself is glowing blue as if it's a living thing. It might be used quite often as the temple isn't dirty with dust or mold. How deep is this? I look up the stairs I've descended. The staircase is built along the wall in an arc. I must trace out a perfect half moon as I can see the start of the stairs about 10 meters directly above me. Is it because there's no light? The arcing staircase that connects this underground and the outside world reminds me of a centipede crawling through this temple. And I notice the door. Under the stairs, a symbol in front of me. Beyond it, an entrance to darkness is open. I approach the darkness as if drawn to it. I go through what appears to be an entrance into the place. Is it damp? The floor feels slimy and it's hard to walk on. It's like the time I cleaned the swimming pool at school. Is it blood? The feeling that bog moss covers the floor. It's the feeling my leg would rot every time I step in it. I stop. It's because I'm scared by the nasty feeling on the floor, but more than that, because I smell an awful stench. I plug my nose in reflex. The smell isn't momentary, but ongoing. It's not the smell of meat, but it's not gunpowder either. Is this formalin? The smell of medicine fills this room. My senses were numbed as soon as I came underground. I don't feel any chills or pressures anymore. But still, my heart beats restlessly and my hands are vermiculating like they're going to crumble into pieces. And the worst thing is, my eyes have gotten used to the darkness. Darkness fades. A drop falls somewhere. Is that a signal? Things I couldn't see before are engraved into my eyes instantly. It's bodies, 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 bodies. It is a living hell that is somehow familiar. A row of death. Remains are lined up around me. Carrie's definitely using these bodies. Maybe for Gilgamesh. Oh, he could maybe. Wait, is he allowed to participate in this war? Like, it could be for Gilgamesh. But Gilgamesh also said that he didn't have a master. Because, like, he had a thing where he's, like, oh, like, he's above all that. Like, he's his own... He's not even a servant. He's just a hero living in the real world. So, he could be, maybe... Oh, shit. Because, like, there's Lancer. We still don't know Lancer's master. There's still Assassin. I know. They said Assassin's dead. That is, like, man, Assassins, I know the whole thing is, like, they don't really show themselves, but, like, if that's the case, if Assassin's dead, then, man, they really got the short end of the stick in both this and the anime. Like, they were barely shown at all, and they were just, like, wiped out unceremoniously. Like, we didn't even get to see who killed him. So, alright, so if Assassin is dead, then, I mean, Kyrie could still be the master, because we never figure out who Assassin's master is. So it could be the master of Assassin, or Gilgamesh, if that is the case, or Lancer. Remains are lined up around me. The smell of medicine covers the smell of death. I tell myself this isn't happening. I don't want to think such a thing can happen, but I can't deceive myself. I can tell in a second, even though there are this many corpses, no one is dead in here. Oh shit. They being, like, kept alive? Like zombies? Are they just being, like, they're being kept alive so that they can keep draining their energy? They're alive. These things that can only be perceived as corpses, these things that used to have human shape, are still quite alive. Why are they alive? I don't like that sound also. Don't like it, that glitchy sound. I look from one laid out body to the next. Every one of them is too deformed. I hate that sound. I hate it. It's too disgusting to even imagine what happened to each of them. It's like sacrilege. They look more like dead trees than corpses. Those who are ground down in the cracks in the floor. Those who have become homes to bugs splattered on the walls. No matter how they came to be that way, they have no limbs remaining, and all of them are worn out like rotten trees. I don't even need to know why. The corpses are being eaten by the coffin. I don't know how it works. It's just that the corpses are stuck to the coffin, and the coffin is sucking nutrition out of the corpses. The flow of life. The coffin is sucking up magical energy. No, something close to the soul. Slowly. So not to kill the ones it leeches off, and so not as to allow them to live. The sound of the wind that sounds like sobbing. It seems like screams coming out of the corpses' mouths. Their throats have already decayed and they cannot let out voices. It has already become just an organ to keep them alive. But still the corpses are crying out. In an almost inaudible voice they scream with all their might. It must be the pain and the fear. They continue screaming, unable to stand losing their form and being eaten alive. Jesus, what a way to Not even live, just exist. I hear a sound. The coffin in front of me gasps, oozing. Something slimy drops out of the head as it turns its neck towards me. The swollen lips move a little. It speaks in a voice that's not even a voice. Where am I? And asks me that question. I'm right on the verge of screaming. No, I can't even scream now. Where am I? It doesn't say it hurts, nor does it ask for help, but it just says it doesn't understand why it's here. Is that the reason? He was like that before he realized it? He lived normally, went to sleep naturally, and was gasping here when he woke up? Sucked by that coffin, rotting away from the ends, unable to move, and he can now only believe that this is just a bad dream. I might go insane. My heart might break from the scene and from this terrible spectacle. But why? Why do I recognize them? I've never seen them, but I recognize every one of the corpses. Oh shit. Wait a minute. Are these the corpses from from the fire all those years ago? Because he had the flashback to when he was in the hospital, I'm guessing, after the fire. Because he says he recognizes them. This is the first time I've seen them. They're people I shouldn't know. And if that's the case, that means that they've been kept here for 10 years. They're people unrelated to me. But why are they as if knowing me, staring at me? And I have another question. Is it some coincidence, or do the sacrifices have to meet this condition? Why are all the corpses here children? Oh shit, of the same age. Oh, wait a minute. No. No. Okay. That's right. I even mentioned this before. They talked about how the children, right? They said, I think the children that survived this, what happened before, were taken to the church, and it was only by a miracle that Shiro ended up being, he had the choice, I believe, but he chose to go with, I'm trying to remember. That's right, yeah, because Kiritsugu, he visited him at the hospital and asked if he wanted to live with him, because the other choice was to go to the church. So these are all the kids from the church that were adopted by the church. Fuck! I knew it. I knew something had happened to these kids. This is so much worse than I could have expected, though. I had a feeling that they were going to be probably used as sacrifices or as drained of their magical energy, but I didn't think that they'd be kept alive. And then, god damn, this just got real twisted. Suddenly, I'm tapped on the shoulder from behind as if being greeted by a friend. My body freezes at the sudden event and I can't even turn around. But I don't even need to turn around to tell who the person behind me is. Kotomine Kire, the priest of this church, the man who made this hell, and a devil I must not meet more than anything else in this place.
全く間が悪い。そろそろお前が来る頃だと思ってな。食事の準備をしに行ったのがまずかった。そうだ。前回はろくなもてなしができなかっただろう。
Wait, prepare food? Is Kiri gonna say is he offering this to, gonna offer to me and Saber to be I know you didn't want to kill, you said you didn't want to kill people, so here, you can use this energy if you want to. Or is he, I think I'm overthinking it. I think literally he was making him some food and then Shiro just ended up down here and discovered this. I can't talk. The priest's hands are heavy on my shoulders. I should have gone home. I should have gone home.
見なければいいものを見てしまう羽目になる。例えば、そう、お互いの関係を白紙に戻さざるを得ない真実を知ってしまうとか。
The priest's voice is more cheerful than I've ever heard it. Kotomine Kire, standing behind me with his hands on my shoulders, is definitely smiling. That's why I'm frightened.
どうしたエミヤシロ。話をしに来たのだろう。黙っていては意味がないぞ。 拍子抜けだな。それほどこの光景は機械かね。
The priest says inhuman things in a cheerful voice. Does this man not feel anything when faced with this? I don't even need to tell him the scene is outrageous.
なんだ、それは冷たいな。お前にとっては不快でも、そんなことはないと言ってやるのが情けだろう。そもそも彼らとお前は兄弟のようなものだ。お前がそのような態度では彼らも救われないと思うのだが。
What is that supposed to mean? So it's up to me to save them? Just now, what did this man say?
お前今
Yeah, these are definitely like these were the kids that got adopted by the church.
この死体たちとお前は仲間だったと言ったのだ。形はどうあれ、お前たちはあの地獄から生還した者たちだ。血肉のつながりはなくとも、その絆は兄弟のそれに近いと思うのだが。
As if his survivor's
どうか
guilt
な。
wasn't bad enough as it is. This whole reason for wanting to be a superhero because he wanted to save people. This is gonna like just completely break him. I see. That's why I thought I recognized them. This is the continuation of 10 years ago. And this place is the continuation of that hospital. Just think if Shiro hadn't accepted Carrie's offer, he would have been here. My head spins. Children who lost their homes and parents. They were supposed to be sent to an orphanage and stay there until they found someone who would adopt them. But I was adopted by Emiya Kiritsugu before that, and I did not know what happened to them afterwards, so they have been here for 10 years, kept alive. Barely. I avoided thinking about it. The orphanage was the church on top of the hill, and I could have gone there any time I wanted to, but still I hesitated. I felt it wasn't fair for me to get adopted, and then go see children who didn't get adopted. So if I was to meet them, it would be in town. We would meet accidentally, be able to talk normally, and we'd be over the fire incident. I was looking forward to such a meeting, thinking we would surely meet, as it's such a small town. So why have I not met even one of them?
見ね
そうだ、エミヤシロ。エミヤキリツユに引き取られていなければ、お前も彼らの一員となっていた。わかるか？お前はまたも一人だけで助かった
What a way to twist the knife. He knows what he's doing.
周りの誰もが平等に死んでいくというのに、お前だけが輪を乱して生き延びた。どうかね。自分自身大した不平等だとは思わないか？
My pulse returns. My frozen body defrosts in an instant.
いや、私は責めているわけではないぞ。むしろお前のそれは喜ばしい。エミやシローの生き延びる才能は大したものだ。実際、私もお前が最後まで残るとは思ってもいなかった。だからこそ、最後はこうして兄弟たちに再会させてやったのだ。
Well, I mean, you did just talk about my survival skills, so we'll see about that, sir. Although I am by myself, again, but I bet somehow I'm gonna either be able to pull a weapon out of my ass, or Saber's somehow gonna know I'm here and be able to save me.
お前は本当に運がいい。ここは今日限りで閉める予定だったのだが、ギリギリで間に合ったな。今まで10年間、サーバントを餌にするために彼らを生かし続けたが、
It is Gilgamesh.
それも終わりだ。やり始めた時ほどの濃い魂の摘出は望めぬし、もはや
I have a
餌の
feeling the
必
two
要
of them
も
were
ない。
working together.
あとはお前とお
Maybe
前の
that's
サ
how
ーバントを
Gilgamesh.
仕留めるだけになったのだからな。
He also did get the thing of immortality, right? And he did, I guess, sort of. He technically got his wish, right? He got to stay around, but he said that he didn't have a master. He doesn't need a master anymore. Maybe they're not a master-servant situation, but they looks like they're still working together.
てめえ
With that word, I break all restraints. I move my body, which has been bound. I fling the hands off my shoulders, throw myself forward, and turn to face the priest.
琴峰お前が
I face him, placing enough distance between us. In that moment, I feel a powerful shock from behind me. Ooh. Uh-oh. And I died again. That's weird. I can't breathe. Oh, did I pick the bad ending? Was I supposed to go home? A sharp horn is growing out of my chest. The horn looks like the head of a spear. Oh, wait. That's strange. Spear? Lancer? Maybe it is Lancer. That's strange. How can a spear be growing out of my chest? Then again, it could be Gilgamesh. He can have any weapon he wants.
そういえば言っていなかったな。改めて紹介しよう。彼が私の
Maybe
サ
it
ー
is
バント。
Lancer. I turned to look back. There. It is! Oh my gosh, I was wrong. I thought for sure. I was like, oh my goodness. I thought it was gonna be Gilgamesh. A blue spearman is standing, piercing my chest. That doesn't feel fair. That he gets to enter the tournament again? The lance is pulled out of my chest. At the same time, a sharp pain runs through my head as if to burn my brain. Oh, it's gonna take more than that to kill Shiro. I literally got sliced in half yesterday. The floor is painted red. I'm lying on the slimy floor. I push on my arms to get up, but my body is too heavy. I can't move. Not because I'm bound, but because I lack the things people need to move. The pain in my chest exceeds the blood loss's power to drive me unconscious. I can't pass out. I've taken fatal wounds several times before. They were all so bad that they even numbed my senses. But this is different. It's a fatal wound, but the pain is too real. I don't know, all those other times that Shiro got sliced and stabbed, he seemed like he was in pain then too. My vision spins. As soon as I black out from the pain, I'm awoken by the next pain. I can't feel my limbs. I can't even tell where I am. All I feel are pain, nausea, and the temptation that it would feel so good to just disappear.
殺してはいないだろうな、ランサー。それでは今まで残していた甲斐がない。
I can only hear voices. I have my eyes open, but I can't see anything.
命令は守るさ。たとえそれがいけつかねえものでもな。
Lancer's voice shows no emotion, but I can barely hear it now.
よろしい。では支度をするぞ。
Oh,
ラン
that's their luring
サー。マ
saber
スターの
here.
窮地はサーバントに伝わる。セーバーが到着するまで。
So what would have happened if I
およ
just
そ
gone home?
半時というところ。
Would have been just fine, probably.
ことみね。このガキそこまでは持たねえよ。死なせたくねえんなら血止めぐらいはしとけ。
He's like, I know, I've killed him before.
不要だ。死ぬのならそれで構わん。
My mind starts to pass out. Pain finally overcomes my brain and allows me to faint. I stop that by digging into my wound. The pain starts again. My fainting mind returns to the burning world again. I want to die. I want to die right now if this pain is going to continue. I know that. I know that, but if I faint here, I also know that I'll die. I can't even remember what I'm doing. I feel like I'm floating in this white, burning pain. But I grit my teeth and hold on to my disappearing consciousness. I can't let it end here. I can't retire so easily. I still have a promise I haven't kept. If I believe she's more important than anyone, I can't just disappear here. Nope. Alright, interlude. And status screen update. Let's check out the status screen. It's probably just going to be the fact that Lancer, we know, like, who his... but yeah, there we go. Master Kotsumine Kire. So we still don't know... Well, we do know his true name. Noble Phantasms, we know that. Okay, so it looks like the only thing that is updated is we know the Master. Assassin, still don't know. Real bummed out about this guy. He seemed cool. We didn't even learn his Noble Phantasm. Like, what a bummer. What a bummer. When she wakes up, Shiro cannot be found. She thought he might be preparing a late lunch, so she makes her way to the living room, but she can find neither Shiro nor any lunch.
また一人で出歩いて
He's
出か
terrible
け
for
るな
that.
ら声をかけてと言ったのにどうしてシロは人の話を聞かないのか
She complains to herself and sits by the porch.
まったく一人で出歩くのが好きなのはわかりますがこれでは協力している意味がないではありませんか
She swings her legs, not knowing what to do. She soon loses interest in that and looks up as if pondering. The whole sky is shaded and gray. The canopy of clouds is drifting slowly, and an opening can be seen in the distant sky. It should be a clear sky tonight. Once the stars can be seen, tomorrow can be predicted. She still remembers how to read the stars, something she learned from Hermagus. She only used it to ask if her way was right, but she thinks about predicting a certain person's future just for tonight. And if possible, a bright future. She wants to predict the dangers ahead and guide him in the proper direction. The one she worries about is so reckless that she cannot sleep unless she does so.
さて問題はこの町から観測できる星の位置ですが
Come to think of it, she's never looked up at the sky until this day. All she cared about was winning the Holy Grail War, and not reading stars for someone else. She knows it's not like her, but she still tries to read the stars, and she waits for nightfall to come. Honestly, this is a big change in her thinking. She continues to stare at the sky, thinking it's just like the young girls in love she's read about in stories.
ああセイバーシロがどこに行ったか知らないリン
She gets up like a robot.
なんでしょう私は別にシロの軍門に下ったわけではありませんが
She says so with a red face.
あれもしかしてお邪魔だった
Ren smiles in an evil manner. She's living under the same roof, but even without that, Emiya Shiro and Saber's reactions are easy to understand. She's sharp when it comes to others, so she already knows about them. So of course she's aware of what happened last night. No, they were in the same bed when she went to wake them up, so it was pretty obvious.
まあからかうのは後にしておいて冗談抜きでシロを知らないイリアの熱が上がってるみたいだからちょっと手
Oh
伝っ
yeah,
てもら
right,
おうと思った
Ilia
んだけ
exists
ど
too. Ah, Shiro, that's a number one mistake. Like, at least let somebody know where you're going, so if you get into danger, then somebody knows where you are.
イリアスピールが彼女の容体は落ち着いたのではないのですかそれがどうにもねシロには黙ってたけどあの子そろそろ限界よ聖杯戦争っていう儀式が終わらない限り元には戻らないあの子のキャパは破格だけどそれでももういっぱいなの今はまだかろうじて容量が空いているから余分な機能が働いているけど満ちてしまえば一番不要な人間としての機能を捨てるしかないイリアスフィールはね聖杯戦争が進めば進むほど壊れていくように作られているのよ
Ren speaks annoyingly, but Saber does not understand what she's trying to say.
ああいいのよ今のはわからないように言ったんだからイリアのことは置いておきましょう
Just a little
それ
bit
よ
too
り
late,
ランサー
Ren.
のことだけど
Well,
ね
this is still good,
あい
but
つのマスター誰だか分かったんだけどランサーのマスターが判明したのですかうんまあ分かったっていうか前から分かってたっていうか実はねランサーのマスターは魔術協会から派遣された外来の
oh
マスター
shit.
なのよ
Wait a minute.
それ自体はとっくに分かってて
Wait a
つい
minute.
さっきそいつのねぐらを見つけてきたんだけど
So Kyrie stole Lancer away from the Master? Master probably got killed, probably by Kyrie. And then he's just like, Lancer, come with me.
リンそのような危険なことは避けるべきです敵の陣地が分かったのなら私に言ってくれればいい私だってそのつもりだったわよけどさ外から様子を探ってたら
Oh, shit.
どうもおかしいのよで留守っぽいなって中に入ってみたらあったのは血の跡とレイジュが亡くなった左腕だったそれ以外は何もなかった体ごとレイジを奪われしかもあの出血量じゃ生存は絶望的でしょうねランサーのマスターはとっくにやられてたのよではランサーはすでにいないのですか 10日前シロを襲った後に他のサーバントに倒されたと。
だったらいいんだけどね。結婚はもっと前のものだった。これどういうことかわかる？
サーバントを倒さず先にマスターを倒した。
Interesting that of all of the servants that Carrie went for Lancer.
そうしてマスターからレイジを奪い、ランサーと契約したマスターがいるということですか？ですが
残っているマスターは私とシローだけでしょ。けどランサーはまだ残っている。ってことはマスターじゃない魔術師がレイジを奪ってマスターになってる
Right?
って
Yeah,
こ
that's
と
what
だ
I
け
want to
ど、
know.
セイバー
It's like
そうい
Kyrie
うのってで
wasn't
きるも
part
の
of
な
the
の？
initial. Unless Kyrie. Because didn't Kyrie. He initially had Assassin, and then Assassin got taken out very quickly. So then Kyrie got Gilgamesh instead. I'm trying to think of the timeline for this. It'd be hilarious if Kyrie ended up twice, but I don't think he's allowed to be part of this. So he wasn't one of the initial masters of this Holy Grail War, and yet he managed to get a servant. Okay, we're gonna let Ren explain this, or Saber.
いいえ、レイジの移植はマスターかサーバント、そのどちらかによるものだけです。いかに優れた魔術師といえ
Because
ば
that's the thing, we don't know who Assassin's master was, so maybe Kyrie was in this from the beginning? An assassin died, and then he took Lancer, but then he said it was 10 days ago. That was like early on. That was like almost right at the beginning. Because this is day 15, right? Oh boy, I can't remember.
そう。じゃあもう一つ。マスターっていうのはさ、聖杯が消えてなくなってもレイジュが残っていて、かつサーバントさえ残っていればいつまでもマスターなの？
そうですね。リンの言う通りです。レイジュとサーバントさえ残っていれば、聖杯戦争が終わったとしても、
Oh,
その魔術師はマスターとしての権
so
利。
Kyrie, okay. I was thinking in that case, I was like, that'd be funny if Kyrie and Gilgamesh, like as long as Kyrie still had a command spell, he was the master to Gilgamesh all this time, but Gilgamesh doesn't want to be a servant anymore. He wants to be his own person. Saber realized the meaning of Rin's question and swallows her words.
では、リンはランサーのマスターを殺し、ランサーと再契約したのはその。
ええ、それ以外ないと思う。そう思うとランサーの行動にも納得がいくのよ。
Wait, let me go through the log, what was just said. Sorry.
あいつさ、
Oh, no, no, no,
他
no.
のサーバントの様子を
That's not
探
what I
る
meant
の
to
が
do.
役割みたいだったじゃない。戦えば自分の正
Seemed
体
like his
を明
role
か
was
し
to
てし
inspect
まうっ
other
ていうのに、
servants. Usually they
あ
expose
いつ
their
は
identity,
自分
but
の
he
正
wasn't
体を
hiding
隠すでも
his.
なく、他のサーバントにちょっかい出してた。
Okay. I was a little confused about that.
それってつまり、あいつは諜報専門だったってことでしょ？
So he wasn't even hiding his. You talking about Lancer? Like Lancer announced who he was right away?
同感です。私と戦った時も、
Yes.
彼は最後まで戦わなかった。宝具を使った以上、見せた相手は倒すのが私たちの定石だというのに。
そう。だからランサーのマスターにはもう一人サーバントがいたのよ。ランサーに敵の正
Okay,
体を
so
探ら
he
せてお
could
いて、
still have
その
Gilgamesh
後
then.
に正体不明の戦闘性用のサーバントをぶつける。これって必勝法でしょ？まあランサーにしてみればいい迷惑だったろうけど、6人のサーバント全員と戦
I'm a little
って
confused.
その
We'll
手
let the
口を調
game
べ
tell
上
me
げ
if
た
I'm
上
right
で
or not.
主の元に帰るんだもの。6人すべてと引き分けなんてある意味とんでもないやつよね、あいつ。
Rin, I mean, he could have Assassin, maybe. But you think Assassin would be more the one to, like, kind of get intel. Rin goes quiet and ponders. Did she follow suit? Saber feels a chill for no reason. Lancer's master has already been killed, An unknown master who uses a heroic spirit of that degree just to collect information, right? Why, if he's using someone like Lancer to collect info, he's got to have Gilgamesh, right? That's got to be his other servant. And as the master planned, the only servants remaining are Lancer and Saber. If the enemy is such a person, it is not dangerous to leave Shiro by himself, even during daytime. There were several enemies before, but there are no other enemies now. If they only have to defeat Shiro, the enemy might not follow their previous plan.
リン、シロはどこにいたのか知り
No,
ません。
she asked you where he was. Once she starts thinking like that, it will not stop. She cannot leave Shiro alone. Even now, Shiro might be in danger.
どうだろう。知らないから聞いたんだけど。
Okay, so
もし
Rin
かした
hasn't
ら
come to
綺
the
麗なとこか
conclusion
な。
that Kyrie
あいつ
could be
この間も
the
綺麗な子
master.
に相
Maybe
談し
she'll
に行
have
った
that
んです
aha
よ。
moment to be like, oh shit.
あの教会に。
何
Okay,
を
so
す
she
れば
doesn't have any idea
怖い
about
顔
that.
して琴峰教会に含むところでもあるの？
いえ、そういうわけではないのですが。
That church is not a holy place. It has stagnated with death to the same level as the Ryodo Temple. The instant she regrets that Shiro might be there by himself, a vision of some other place pops in her head. She glares into the distance. She looks in one direction towards Kotomine Church on top of the hill. There is no time. Saber leaps out to the yard and jumps onto the wall.
ちょっとセイバー、いきなり何よ。
教会に向かいます。後のことは任せました。リン。
Without even turning to Rin, she jumps off. She runs like a bullet. She reaches the place without stopping or slowing down. If anybody saw her, it would have just looked like a sudden gust of wind. The wind is clad in silver and blue armor. Saber is armed as soon as she sees the enemy's territory. She did not intend to arm herself. She had decided to arm herself when she entered the church. But she could not help it. As soon as she saw the church, her mind burned up and made her arm herself. Her chest is burning. The nausea that has been assaulting her is not hers. It's the chill coming from her master, a hopeless scent of death. She does not know what's going on. The only sure thing is that Emiya Shiro is on the verge of death. And there's no time. His wound could cause him to die at any second. That pain and the chill going around her body cause a sickening nausea. It's less than 1,000th of the pain Emiya Shiro is feeling, but she still cannot stop her nausea. Her master's wounded that badly. He will not live. She will not make it even if she rushes with God's speed. He's dying right now, and she might lose her master in front of her eyes. The instant she imagines that, her rationality vanishes. She just has to rush to her master as fast as possible. God's speed's not fast enough, she has to break through the reason of God. And fortunately, this is God's house, and her enemy is God's messenger. Her angry glare stares down the church. She crashes through the door and enters the chapel. She does not see the chairs. She ignores the path, goes through the chapel, through the courtyard, and down the stairs leading underground. All that's left are the demolished walls and floor of the church. Incidentally, she's not that violent. She tried to open the door softly. It did not put that much magical energy into her legs when she kicked off the ground. She merely could not control them. She goes down the stairs and reaches the underground temple. The sense of death is near. Actually seeing it, her anger goes over the limit. Anger toward herself, and anger toward the enemy who did such a thing.
よう、悪いがそこまでだ、セイバー。
She cannot even hear the voice of Lancer blocking her way. She's straining at her limits, and it seems she cannot loosen up no matter what happens. Her master is down in the darkness, in the back room. In the middle of the room full of live corpses, he's on his stomach. Blood is pouring out of him, and his gasping can be heard even in this temple. He is alive. All the while, she's relieved. She shakes from having left him for so long in that state.
シロは
Saber heads to the back room, but there's a guard in front of it. Holding his lance behind him, the blue spearman looks at Saber with fearless eyes.
よう、悪いがそこまでだ、セイバー。
He's like, I said a cool line, you ignored me. I gotta say it again. She does not hear his voice. She just like, nope, not listening. Just runs past him. So she does not stop. He's like, man, I had this cool like speech I was gonna give.
いきなり見境なし。
Literally, he is. He's pissed. It's as one would expect from him to block while he was talking. Lancer blocks Saber's surprise attack, but could not defeat its power as he retreats to the wall. But that makes the hindrance go away. There's no time to fight Lancer now. He's just like a bug. She just swats him away. She has to save her master who's on the verge of death.
そんなに坊主が大事か？そりゃ構わねえが、ならなおのこと、俺を放っておくわけにはいかないぜ、セイバー。
Saber stopped at the entrance.
それはどういう意味ですか、ランサー。
いや、何な。そいつの胸を串刺しにしたのは俺なんだが、実はこれは二度目でね。以前は確かに殺したってのに生きてやがったもんだからな。
Oh, you can never be sure with Shiro, actually.
刺してやったわけだ。
貴様、シローにゲイボルクを使ったのか。
Yeah, well, you used it on Saber too, and she survived. They're just two birds of a feather. Nothing keeps them down for long.
安心しろ。心臓は外してやった。だが呪いはそのままだぞ。セイバー、貴様とてこの槍の呪いは知っていよう。因果を逆転させる原因の槍。
Well, I mean,
こいつの呪
if
いを
there's
受け
one
た
thing
者
Shiro
は
has, it's
よっ
great
ぽどの
luck.
幸運がない限り運命を変え
I
ら
keep
れ
saying
ない。
he's the unluckiest lucky person ever.
まあ単純に言ってしまえばゲイボルクによってつけられた傷は癒されることはない。呪いを受けた者は決して回復できず、死に至るまで傷を
As
背負
long
う
as
こ
this
とになる。
lance exists, well, she's just gonna have to make it not exist
この
anymore.
槍がある限りな。
So he's like, you can't ignore me, you have to fight me. That changes the air. Saber's eyes finally regain intelligence.
ようやく理解できたか。そこの坊主を助けたいんだろう。ならまず俺との決着をつけなくちゃな。
Lancer's beast-like killing intent comes at Saber. It's true Lancer's serious, but
正気ですか、ランサー。この狭い室内で僧兵であるあなたが剣士である私と戦うと。今ならば見逃します。その槍を置いて去りなさい。このような不本意な戦いであなたの首を取る気はない。
それこそ愚行じゃねえのか。一体どこの英霊が自分の相棒を置いてくってんだよ。俺は何も取引をするためにそいつを刺したわけじゃない。俺はな、お前と殺し合いをするためにここにいる。
there's no dishonesty in his words. Lancer does not intend to let either of them leave here alive. For him, this is the first and last battle where he can go full strength. Lancer's wish is not for the Holy Grail. He wishes only for battles appropriate to heroic spirits. Such a simple wish that should have been easily granted to a normal servant was never granted him until now. Therefore, he has no intention of losing out on what might be his last chance, even if it happens to be an unfavorable situation for him.
いいでしょう。ならばその槍を見事叩き切って捨てるだけだ。
Saber readies her invisible sword and faces the Blue Knight.
よく言った。白状するとな。貴様が最後に残ってくれて嬉しいぜ、セイバー。
Lancer's lance runs like a flash of light. Saber confronts it straight on. The rematch begins with both of them executing powerful blows. Alright, well, an interesting episode. We had a tender moment between Shiro and Saber. Quite a bit more tender and explicit if you guys are watching on Patreon for the uncensored version. But a nice moment all the same. And then, of course, Shiro, as he always does, has to go run off without telling anybody where he's going. Because that's just what he do. And shocker, Kyrie turns out to be a bad guy. And it turns out that he is the one who is Lancer's master. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting that. I thought that he was going to be, like, Archer's master. But yeah, I guess that makes sense as well. So, Kyrie has cornered Shiro, attacked him. Things are not looking good. But Saber is on the way to rescue him. And, yeah. So we seem to have, like, we've got our final villain here. So we gotta take down Kyrie and Lancer. Gilgamesh is still out there somewhere. He's still a threat. So, at least we got some answers. So things have certainly gotten, like, the stakes have been raised. It seems like we're coming to the end soon. with the final master revealed. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys liked this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned next week for part 24. Until then.